Hi! Welcome to Torchlight 2. I picked this game up on a Steam sale over Christmas and haven't played it, so I dived into a single player game to reacquaint myself. I played the first one, and so I was just remembering what it is, and it's basically point the mouse and click the left or right mouse button and push some numbers. But it drops loot all over the place. I dived into a single player game for a few levels just to reacquaint myself with the controls, and I then dived into an online game, and it's actually really nice online. What they've got is loot dependent on the player rather than the game. So the loot that I see here is all mine. He can't see my loot and I can't see his, so you can just grab whatever you want, which I really like. Borderlands 2 I kind of like online, but the problem is people robbing everything. I tend to play random games, which I know is foolish, but I just, a lot of the time I play at weird hours, and so I just want to dive into something and play. Anyway, it's got a pretty complex skill tree, judging by the lobby, where you can set games between 1 and 100. I'm guessing the maximum level is 100. Which means that you've got a pretty wide variation of how to spec your character. Each of them seem to have 3 skill trees. I've only played the engineer. But the engineer gets a little robot which heals you and revives your mana, which is pretty cool. Obviously skills cost mana, but the cool thing is the loot. Like, all the little monsters drop little bits of loot. And you can trade stuff. I'd failed utterly to trade there, but he traded me back a pretty nice mace, which I can't use yet. And like most games these days, the loot is coloured green, blue, purple, and you've got gold for uniques, and actually a gold popped out at the end, but it was a crossbow, so I traded it with this guy, Alpha Wolf. He's a German guy who was chatting away a little bit, but it's a really it's the thing about these games for me is that you keep clicking. Obviously I've sped this up, by the way, it doesn't run this speed normally, but I've got a slightly OCD personality, and so the draw of some slightly better loot always just around the corner makes you suddenly realise you've been playing this thing for 3 or 4 hours. And it's quite dangerous like that. I've just taken a sample level out. This is pretty early on. You've got your first mission, which just takes you through the opening area. Then the second mission sends you into another area, obviously, and this one is a sort of pickup on the way that sends you into these catacombs en route. And it's designed for levels 4 to 5, and I think I've come here at, what, level 6? Or, yeah, 6. Well, I just leveled up when I got here, so I was 5. But just having a play around with loot, and some quite nice stuff popped out there. The other thing is you've got a pet, and the pets are really nice. I've got Gimpy, my character, and Stirrup, my pet. You can randomise names, and one of the names was Pancake, which I thought was pretty awesome. But your pets, they can obviously wear equipment. Well, I don't know, obviously, but they can wear equipment, and you can increase their stats, and their health, and their attack, and their armour and stuff. You've also got items which are slottable. So when you have armour or weapons, you can put little gems in them which change their abilities in certain ways, typically adding damage or increasing defense against a particular element. I'm failing to kill anything here, this is miserable, but this is a big bad guy at the end of the level, this is a mini-boss. But the pets, at any point during a dungeon run, you can send them back to the shop to sell all your stuff and actually come back with supplies, which is really neat. So if you're just having a hard time finding a particular potion, what you can do is send your pet off and he'll sell stuff and come back. This guy's actually kind of tough, and I keep thinking I'm killing him, but I don't actually think I'm hitting him that much. The engineer has a basic flame hammer attack, but I've been upgrading, I've been focusing on the robot. The next robot, though, seems a little more interesting, and I'm hoping that there are better robots down the line, so I'll be keeping an eye out for those. I'll probably come back to this on and off. It's one of those games that I can probably dip into once a week. I don't know how much content I'll upload. If you guys want to see more, I can certainly do a more interesting kind of RP, where I'm actually talking about playing the game, and the adventures of Gimpy. Die, skeletons, die! But I thought this would just be a nice little intro. For those of you who haven't played it, who like sort of loot collecting games, it's a really, really nice idea. The first one was just a very pleasing sort of click about, and it is one of those games you can just while away time at. It doesn't take much effort, you just need a mouse and a keyboard. Unfortunately it doesn't have gamepad support, although I kind of understand why, because moving the cursor around and trying to click on stuff would be a pain. And so I was sitting there when I first fired it up going, why won't you support gamepad? And then remembered the first game. And how that works. But here is where I found this kind of quite amazing orange item here. and I'm trying to work out how to trade. I actually need to drag it into here, but it was level 2 or 3 and the guy got it and he's like, oh my god, that's so imbalanced. He's trying to show me his gun and I've clicked trade and he's like, oh my god, here we go. But now I'm giving it to him. Trying to work out how to accept trade. There we go. Despite the fact my mouse is hovering over the tick button, I'm like, Anyway, he has got a, yeah, oh my god. He got that, so then I handed in the quest, and I think I got a pet trinket, which I probably forgot to equip in the end, and then just had a bit of a poke around. And there's some other cool stuff lying around as well. We sort of wandered around this level a bit. This is the second area, and I like the bright, vibrant colours, and when you're killing stuff, things explode in a nice way, and it's kind of really pleasing cartoon graphics. It's a really, I don't even know the word, but sort of, it's like a nice bar of chocolate. It's not really that good for you. You're not going to get much out of it. It's not stretching your brain. It's not going to make you think, but it's just enjoyable. But I was going to say there are all these little sort of gravestones and things scattered around, and you click on them and you'll get like another mini-boss who'll typically drop some quite sweet loot. And then there are these little random creatures. I found a gold bird earlier that dropped a gold key, and then over here you will see that I find this gold chest, which I can open with a gold key. Now, I'm not sure where the gold keys are tracked. They're probably listed somewhere, but those gold chests spit out a lot of great stuff too. And again, if I open it, he'll be able to get all his loot from it too. Anyway, that is that. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you in the next one. And again, let me know if you want to see me doing a proper playthrough of this. I'd kind of be quite happy to once Dead Space is over, or maybe in between. Anyway, see you in the next one. Bye.